Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Menachem Creditor. It's my honor to serve as scholar in residence and rabbi for UJA Federation of New York. We bring you Torah and music, blessing, and community every weekday. We've been doing so since March 18th, 2020. Today is July 5th, 2024. It is broadcast 1087, and it is day 273 since October 7th. There are so many things to talk about, but most of all, let's take advantage of this opportunity as we have for 4.5 years just to say good morning to each other, to wish each other a good Shabbos today. Raf, my love, so good to see you. Boker to you. Savta Shush, it's good to see you. Bensi, welcome. Linda and Carl, Joyce, Boker Tov, it's good to see you. Amy, lovely to see you. Hi, Susan. Susie, welcome. Chana and Carl and Julianne and Deborah, good to see you. Ron and Lydia, Susan, it's good to see everyone. Hope that you and yours are safe and well. Let's take a second. Today is Penny's birthday. I haven't seen Penny here yet, but we are going to make sure that if she looks back at this video, she knows we began by saying happy birthday to Penny and happy birthday to Valerie. Natalia and Cecile, Anya and Debbie, Boker Tov. It's good to see all of you. Let's take a second, sing a bracha, learn some Torah. Marilyn, Anna, Iris, Boker Tov. Okay. Hi, Arlene. Hi, Linda. Okay. Hi, Sherry. Friends, good morning. It's good to see all of you getting ready for Shabbos, learning some Torah. It really doesn't get much better than that. Let's jump right in, friends. Let's jump right in. There is a lot to talk about, and well, Shabbos is coming. So here we are. Here we are learning Parshat Korach, a story of upheaval, of chaos, of communal divisions, in a moment where that feels more and more true all over the world. Certainly with the presidential election in real upheaval, it feels like here in the United States, and with a new party winning in a landslide in the UK, and with Israel really feeling intense pain, ongoing pain. Not only because it is the 273rd day since October 7th, but also between the society and the government, between the generals and the prime minister. There is a lot. There's a lot for us to be talking about. And let's use Torah as our framing for it. This week's Parsha, Korach, of course, tells the story of the rebellion, but you can feel that on a linguistic level too. Because the very first words of the Torah portion are Vayikach Korach. Korach took. And took people, but there is a nuanced reading to this that, well, it might be a forced interpretation actually by the rabbis, But in the Talmud, Masechet Sanhedrin, there is it feels like an unrelated story, but I feel like it relates. Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi asked Eliyahu Hanavi. So an ancient sage named Yoshua asked Elijah the prophet. It's I love that this happens in the Talmud. This rabbi was walking in the ruins of Jerusalem and met Elijah the prophet. And you have to wonder, how literally is any of this meant to be taken? Did they tell the story as if it was history? Or did they say, this is a really hard thing to ponder? And so I looked to my ancestors for guidance, and I felt an answer come to me. Or did they meet Eliyahu Hanavi? Let's be open to the possibilities that miracles do happen, and we can have conversations with our ancestors. Often, when I close my eyes before lighting the Shabbat candles, I feel myself in communion with my ancestors. Whether they know it or not, they are in my consciousness, they're in my brain, they're in my heart. And hopefully, they help us inform our decisions. So, regardless of whether or not it really happened, let's say that it really happened. Yoshua ben Levi, Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi asked Eliyahu Hanavi, when will the Messiah come? Because Eliyahu Hanavi, Elijah the prophet, of course, is supposed to announce the coming of the Messiah. And Eliyahu Hanavi said, go and ask him yourself. Realize the humor here. So Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi says to Elijah the prophet, when will the Messiah come? And Eliyahu says, ask him yourself, which means he's already here. Now, what does that mean? Yoshua ben Levi said, well, where is he sitting? And Eliyahu Hanavi said, at the entrance to Rome. Well, how will I recognize him? Says Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi. And Elijah the prophet said, the Messiah is sitting among the poor, ill people by the gates of the city. All of them untie and tie their bandages at one time, but he unties and rebandages one wound at a time. Because he says, perhaps I will be needed, and I must not be delayed. It's a beautiful story. And I know it doesn't use the story of Korach, but I want to use it to talk to the story of Korach. Yoshua ben Levi asks Eliyahu Hanavi, when will the Messiah come? And Eliyahu says, he's right there. He's untying and retying bandages one at a time, because if he needs to jump up and be present because it's time for things to be better, he wants to be available. The rabbis, just like we, are thinking about why the world is the way it is. Remember, Elijah the prophet says he's at the entrance to Rome. Rome is the occupying power. Rome is where things are not good and where Jewish disempowerment is clearest. Even in that moment, Eliyahu says, the Messiah is waiting. Now, Jews and Christians have very different ideas of what the word Messiah means. For instance, Maimonides, Rambam, says that the Messiah is a messianic age, which basically means people aren't fighting anymore. It's very human, it's very this worldly, but war is done. Imagine that the possibilities of peace were somehow within range. Well, the idea that Mashiach is waiting nearby is Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi's experience of Elijah the prophet as recorded in the Talmud. How does that relate to the story of Korach? Remember how I said Korach, the Parsha, is introduced. This is Vayikach Korach. Korach took. The opposite of Messiah is when we take. The opposite of Messiah is when we take. Mashiach, the idea of it, is when we are ready. We are ready to give. We're ready to be together. The whole idea of Korach is to separate oneself from the community. Well, we know that the closest we can get right now to the world to come, the closest we can get, is for us to be prepared to give, to sit in a place that feels disempowered, but to know that it's really just about which moment calls, that we can be more present, more giving, more loving, more ready. Tonight begins Rosh Chodesh Tammuz, a month in which we mark on the 17th day, Shiva Asar B'Tammuz, the beginning of the destruction of the temple. And so, what I want to bless us most of all with is a sense of interconnectedness and the readiness to give to each other. Even the Mashiach has wounds. Even the Messiah, according to this Midrash, has wounds. Who doesn't? We should all be sitting together, taking care of ourselves and each other, ready for when the world is ready. Now, we're not disempowered. We can do something to help that day come sooner. We can show kindness. We can show fierce love. I'll end with the way that Sharon said it, because I think it's so beautiful. Giving rather than taking helps create harmony and community. Amen. May this Shabbat find us preparing to give, to provide to each other, to take care of the most vulnerable parts of society, to show fierce love for our family, for all of our family. It's hard to remember a world pre-October 7th, at least for me, really is. Because the world's vulnerability hasn't changed, and Jewish vulnerability, as Fran has shared with us, has not changed. So we are called, friends, to be givers, to sit sometimes, to acknowledge our wounds sometimes, and to be ready for a new month, even if that month reminds us of pain too. We will bind our wounds one at a time. And perhaps when someone says, where is Mashiach? Where is the Messiah? The answer will be, well, right there. And they'll be pointing to you. Let's get ready for Shabbos, friends. Let's send our hearts to the east. Let's take some deep breaths. Let's tend to our wounds and be ready to make this world just one inch closer to being ready for when the Mashiach has no more wounds, and when we don't either. Let's send our hearts to the east, friends. Here we go. Kol hod b'leva pnima nefesh Yehudi homia ulefatei mizrach kadima ayin letzion tzofia on lo avda tikvatenu hatikva bat shnot alpayim להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון וירושלים. להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון וירושלים. Bring them home now. Am Yisrael Chai. An early Chodesh Tov, a good month, everyone. Good Shabbos. See you on Monday.